When it comes to sales of pickup trucks, the Ford F-Series has always been the best-selling model in the world. However, if you were looking for a smaller truck from Ford, the company has had some inconsistencies. However, for 2024, we are finally getting an all-new version of the Ford Ranger. I'm here on the floor of the 2023 Detroit International Auto Show, and this right here is the brand new 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Let's go ahead and take a first look. So as most of you guys know, the Ford Ranger went away from Ford's lineup back in 2011, but the company brought the Ranger back to the US back in 2018. However, that Ranger was actually an old model that was already due for a replacement. So what you're looking at here is essentially the 5th generation of the Ford Ranger here in the US. It's known as the T6.2 because it essentially takes the frame of that previous generation and Ford makes some key upgrades. Now what you're also looking at here is the Ranger Raptor, the first ever Ranger Raptor here in America. We've seen a Raptor in other markets. However, this is the first time it's coming to America, so it essentially has a lot of the goodies from the Bronco Raptor. So underneath the hood, let's talk about that first. I can't pop it, unfortunately, because we're at an auto show floor and they're not allowing me to. The Ranger Raptor gets the most powerful engine in the Ranger family. It's a 3-liter twin turbocharged EcoBoost V6 making around 405 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. It makes it the most powerful engine in the segment in terms of horsepower. However, the new Tacoma with its hybrid powertrain will have more torque versus this engine. If you guys don't get the Raptor, the Ranger will still be offered with a 2.3-liter EcoBoost Turbo 4 and a new 2.7-liter twin turbo V6 from the Bronco, which makes around 315 horsepower. All of the vehicles here will use a 10-speed automatic transmission, either rear or four-wheel drive. This Raptor, of course, comes standard with four-wheel drive. But let's go ahead and talk about the exterior styling of this truck, because as you can see, the Raptor version gets its own unique styling cues. You have the big Ford grille here at the front that spells out Ford with the kind of gray accents here. All Rangers come standard with full LED headlights. Now, if you guys go for the Lariat trims and up, you'll actually have the projector style LED headlights like on this Raptor. It kind of has like a C-shaped LED daytime running light, LED turn signals, LED fog lights as well. I really like the design of this truck. It looks a lot more modern now. It looks a lot more like an F-150. It has some hints of Super Duty in the vehicle, and you can really see just how much wider the Raptor is. And unlike some competitors like the Chevrolet Colorado, all Rangers come with full LED headlights, which I love. The front bumper, you can see, has like a modular design to it. It actually is a steel bumper, which is really nice. It's gonna be great for those of you who plan to go off-roading consistently. Now, moving around the side profile of the truck, Ford is gonna offer the Ranger, I believe, in Super Cab and Crew Cab configurations. The Raptor only comes with the Crew Cab configuration with the shorter bed. And in terms of the ground clearance, this vehicle here is lifted to have just under 11 inches of ground clearance. So it's definitely a pretty good amount, especially for those of you who plan to go to some serious off-roading. The Raptors will come standard with these BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, which are 33 inches in diameter. You also have a 17-inch rim as well. You got 4-wheel disc brakes. You got a unique Fox live valve suspension, which again is included with the actual raising of the suspension. If you plan to go off-roading, obviously this is the truck that you're gonna want to go for, and it shares a lot of componentry, of course, with the Bronco Raptor. Now, I'm looking at the rest of the profile. You can see I really like this kind of a bash or not skid plate, a step guard here, which is kind of almost like a rock rail as well. It's unique to the Raptor trim. And then door handles here you can see are very traditional. You have tinted windows back here. And then the bed here measures just over 5 feet long, which is again a pretty good amount. There's also the Raptor graphics back here. The rear taillight design, you can see, looks really nice. This is my first time seeing the Ranger in person. And in the Raptor trim, I really like all the upgrades, especially with the wider body, the graphics, and you can see the rear bumper, the tow package is gonna be standard. This here should, I believe, tow a maximum of 7,500 pounds. The Raptor, I believe, tops out at around 6,000. I'll have to double check that. I also love the dual exhaust. Remember, this is the same twin turbo V6 from the Bronco Raptor, which I unfortunately haven't had a chance to drive. Underneath here, you actually have a full-size spare with a matching alloy. That's kind of necessary when you guys are going for an off-road oriented vehicle. Now, looking at the bed, you can see this model here has the optional spray-in bed liner. You can see the bed itself, the tailgate is now damp, which is not something that the previous generation had. You also have some of these power outlets back here, where you have a actual power outlet over here. However, it only maxes out, I believe, at 400 watts. So this is not with the same thing that you're gonna get from the F-150, which offers up to 7.2 kilowatts. But overall, you can see the space back here is very usable. I also like how the wheel wells don't intrude quite as much into the actual bed, so it has a more usable area. However, if you're looking for some of those upgraded features like on the Colorado or Canyon, where you have the in-bed storage, this is where the Ranger is lacking a little bit in that department. Now, moving on to the interior of the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Now, first of all, when you get into this truck, you're gonna appreciate those side steps because for short people like myself, this is definitely a high step in height. And this is my first time actually sitting in the interior of the new Ford Ranger. And I have to say, Ford did a fantastic job finally making this interior feel modern. Because if you remember the previous generation, the 2023 Ranger, that looked like it had parts from like a 2013 or 2012 Ford Fusion. However, that is no longer the case. You can see the Raptor includes some unique accents. So first of all, the seats. These are the Raptor specific seats. I love the code orange that you're gonna find mixing around with some suede Alcantara with the actual leather. Some orange accented stitching. These seats are also heated. Ford, sadly, I don't believe offers any kind of ventilated seats, but they do offer the 3-level heated seats. In terms of the door panel material here, you can see there's actually a soft touch material here where it has kind of like a faux leather with the stitching. There's some silver painted, or it looks like metal actual accents here in the door panels. Window controls, they have metal accents. They feel pretty high quality. It feels like only the front windows are one touch up down. The rears are not. You have a padded area here. The steering wheel you can see is also unique to the Raptor. You have these big paddle shifters. You have the Raptor graphics along with the code orange stitching as well. The steering wheel itself has a manual tilt telescoping. There's actually a good amount of adjustability and range. And then the rest of the dash you can see has a new design. First of all, the screens. This is now not the largest in the industry or in the segment, but you have a 12-inch display here, which is vertically oriented. It includes things like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is running the latest Sync 4 system. This is the upgraded screen that goes really well with the full 12-inch infotainment display. Now, I believe the standard screen size is going to be an 8-inch, but I love the fact that Ford is really, stepping up their game in terms of the technology department, especially with that graphic there for the instrument panel, which looks really nice. You have some features that you expect in a truck, like the integrated trailer brake controller, the climate control system here. I am surprised to see how small these knobs are. Now, obviously for somebody like me, I have smaller hands, this is fine, but if you have like meaty gloves on, this is gonna be kind of like a small little dial here to adjust the climate control. It is dual zone climate. You can see here the Sync 4 system, which you guys have seen me use before, is pretty snappy and responsive. There's actually the display there for the GPS, which you can see they've actually upgraded the map display, which looks really nice. And then for those of you who want to use CarPlay, it is still wireless. It includes over-the-air updates. Down here, you can see there's a wireless phone charging pad. You have some, I like how this right here, this trim is not a shiny black plastic, which is nice. You have a electronic shifter, it feels like, for the 10-speed automatic transmission. Your drive mode selector is over here. There's all your different modes there to switch between 4-wheel drive automatic, 2 high, 4 low, 4 high. There's your trailer mode, and you can see, you can find the, I don't think Ford calls it GOAT modes in the Ranger, but there's your kind of multi-terrain select, along with your electronic parking brake. There's a padded center console here. Open this up, you can see pretty good amount of storage. There's another 12 volt in here. But if you're looking for the USB ports are actually gonna be down over here. You have 2 USB ones, a USB-C and a USB-A that's kind of right next door to the wireless phone charging pad. Over here on this dash, you can see there's actually a twin glove box compartment. You can see there's a smaller one here, more of that silver look aluminum trim. This is kind of an interesting texture. This is technically just plastic. And then you have a bin style glove compartment, which is offering a good amount of space. Above me here, you can see no sunroof. I'm not entirely sure if it's available as an option, but it does give you plenty of headroom in here. And overall, I can just get a sense that this truck feels bigger, it feels wider, it feels more made for American roads and the American market, because the old Ranger felt a little bit cramped on the inside. Let's go ahead and hop into the back seat of this truck, because this model here only comes as the crew cab configuration. And like other vehicles in this segment, the rear seat area is definitely reserved for smaller adults or kids, because if you guys want more backseat space, basically they want you to go to an F-150, but I don't have the legroom figures, but this feels actually pretty good. This feels pretty comparable to the GMC Canyon and the Chevrolet Colorado, which also just came out. So I'd say it's in the probably 35 inches of legroom. Materials back here are hard touch plastic, unfortunately, but it is padded over here where you'd rest your elbow. I'm surprised to see no rear seat air vents. There's just kind of like a big gaping hole over there where you can put stuff. You also have an actual power outlet. You have 2 more USB charging ports, an A and a C. You have storage cubbies over here, and then you can see over here, there's an armrest that folds down and gives you 2 cup holders. The vehicle is wide, so you can actually fit 3 people across, but the floor here is not completely flat. In terms of the actual space or storage solutions, I forgot to show you guys that. Let me see if this flips up, which it should. Pull that strap there, you can see it folds up in one piece, which some competitors offer an actual split design, but you can see when you fold it up, you have a little bit of additional hidden storage here if you want to hide away some stuff. So overall, the back seat seems to me like it's more spacious than some of the competitors, but remember, if you need more space, you're going to want to go to an F-150. So the midsize truck segment is definitely getting a revitalization, and it kind of started with the Nissan Frontier, then GMC followed it up with their version of the Canyon in Colorado, and now Ford has an all-new version of the Ranger. And I have to say, the Ranger Raptor looks pretty sweet. This is a badass looking truck, and it borrows a lot of componentry from the equally badass Ford Bronco Raptor, so I'm really excited to eventually get behind the wheel of this truck. However, if you are looking to get your hands on this truck, order banks have already opened for this vehicle, and pricing starts at around $32,500 for the base version. I believe it's called the XL of the Ranger. Now, if you guys want an XLT, that's probably the model that most customers are going to go for the additional features. That's around $35,000. The Raptor, unfortunately, is very expensive. This truck here starts at around $55,000. I know 55 grand is a lot of money, but remember, if you guys go for fully loaded versions of the AT4X Canyon, those can be around $60,000. So I'm going to estimate here with options, the Raptor Ranger should probably be in the low $60,000 range. That is definitely a good deal of money, but that's kind of where the industry is going in terms of off-road capable factory built trucks. So if you guys are looking for something like that, the Ranger Raptor is definitely going to be one that I imagine a lot of enthusiasts are going to be going for. For Redline Reviews here at the 2023 Detroit International Auto Show, I'm Sophion Bay.